I know it kills you inside. That's why I do this for you. I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean, no longer a fan. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you.
I do this for the kids who sit a bit outside the mix, who maybe cope through humor just to fit in for a bit, who never let the world know when depression's setting in. To all of those who know you, that impression don't exist, and it ain't counterfeit, it's just a way to counter it. I'm living things I dreamed about, I still encounter it. It ain't something that a cigarette or alcohol can fix, but all because of it I flipped it quick, went on to write some hits. This a success, off another breath. This the first step in searching to be nothing less than be the best in what you do, to prove their strength in being you. Learn so much in chasing dreams that I never would in school. Depends on where your passion lie, just no passion never lie. Life presents distractions, but your actions have to fortify the things that you believe in. Have to scream it like a battle cry, and leave the ones who didn't looking stupid while they're asking why. Couldn't lie, I really do this for the ones I love, those who treat the music as a vice and lyrics like a drug, those who need advice on how to lift their spirit high enough to break out of the box they make up lives they know aren't good enough. Just because it's how it is don't mean it's how it has to be. This is what the uninspired testifiers fail to see. Jealousy results from being that which others fail to be, and if it means you're not with me, that honestly sounds fair to me.
I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean, no longer a fan. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you.
Do this for my mother, she'll be working for the summer. Do this for my father, cause these days I often wonder what my life would have been like if I was not adopted, to grow up in a home where I was treated like a problem. I don't know, it's just a guess. Your guess probably good as mine. Lucky that I grew up in a home that wanted me to shine. Lucky that I grew up around some mountains we were taught to climb. Without that inspiration, I don't think that this would be my life. Do this for my friends who've scattered all across the country now. I'm out in Sweden walking back through life so I can write it down. Make a living off the sound, so crazy to say out loud. I'm the biggest thing since Travis Rice to come up out the town. Sorry, gotta stunt a little. Used to have my dreams belittled, but it's all a part of it. I know people's minds are fickle, lines between reality and dreams I blur like faded nights. Come up been so good for me, I wish that I could make it twice.
I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean, no longer a fan. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you.
Oh yeah, shout out to my pops, y'all. I do this for you, Dad. Let's go. Everybody else, thank you guys for being here. It is Monday. I think it's Columbus Day, so we're about to discover some shit. I just want to thank you guys for choosing this show, choosing me, and sharing the afternoon with me, the evening, whatever you get around to watching this. Thank you guys for being there. Thank you guys for making this a part of your day and your plan. Welcome to Rico Knows. This is what I do. Shout out to everybody who's watching on TikTok. I will not interact with you. You can watch. It doesn't do me any good. You need to join us. Hit the link. Come on over. Join the show. Interact. You'll be there. Just so everybody understands, today's show is about the ACC, Conference USA, Notre Dame, independent teams, the matchups this week, the NFL, anything that happened last week, you can bring it up. But we really want to stay focused on the task at hand. The scope of questions should only be about these conferences. Every single day I change the conferences. If you don't know the schedule, go to my tab. Go click on the live tab. You will see all the future shows. They're all set up. Just a reminder, football starts tomorrow. Football starts tomorrow for the college football week. MVP locks have already been sent out. If you're not an MVP, well, you're missing out. Locks have already been shared. The rough draft for Saturday is out. But the final draft, the real draft for all Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday games, that's already done. That's already been turned in. MVP's already locked and loaded, ready to go. Okay, you can make your own decisions. Don't bet on everything. Bet on most of it. Figure it out. Have your own strategy. I'm not here for that. But in the meantime, before we get to the ACC stuff, I'm going to talk about what's trending. and then we'll go from there. Then I'll jump to the chat. If you're in the chat, one question at a time, please. Wait, I'll get to you. I'm going to be talking for a while, and then we'll make it happen. All right? Shows are capped at 2 hours. We don't go past 2 hours. We probably won't get there today. Let's just chill. All right, so what's in breaking news? Breaking news, the Dallas Cowboys got the ever-living shit stomped out of them last night. They lost to the 49ers. It wasn't close. The score was a lot to a little, and more importantly, they didn't come out of that game unscathed. It's one thing to lose. It's another thing to lose players. You lose Chris Godwin right here, or I'm sorry, C.J. Godwin. C.J. Godwin, torn pectoral muscle, out for the season. That's a special teams ace. Gone. Next, Kevontae Turpin, another special teams ace, and actually scored their first receiving touchdown. But Turpin here suffered a high ankle sprain Sunday night. This is that former TCU speedster, got arrested for some improper things, domestic violence, and then went the USFL route, earned his way into the NFL incredibly fast, and he's gone. Little guy, little mighty might dude, and he's done. Now, I don't know how long he's out. It's probably going to be a little bit, but a high ankle sprain on a speed guy, it's a problem. It's a problem. It's unfortunate as well. CeeDee Lamb's pissed off about the offense. I don't blame him. Somebody's got to be mad. They're not getting him the ball. Hey, spoiler alert, CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott are on my fantasy football team. You guessed it. I lost this week. That happens. Shout out to Derek Lewis. If you don't know the Black Beast, Derek Lewis, he has the most knockouts in UFC history as far as I'm concerned. Derek Lewis goes out there and knocks you out. He's taking a late replacement. He's filling in. I'm excited to see what he can do on short notice. He doesn't need much strategy. He's going to go out there and be like, yo, Alameda, eat one of these. And he's going to throw some strikes. This man does not grapple around. Now, if you were preparing for Curtis Blades, you're not getting Curtis Blades. You're getting Derek Lewis, a healthy Derek Lewis. All I care about is his interview after the fight. His interview after the fight is the nicest. I love it. So I'm excited for that. Shout out to Derek Lewis. See what he can do on short notice. Everybody always asks me, Rico, why don't you talk about recruiting more? I say the same thing I tell you guys all the time. Recruits don't really matter to me because I like to talk about what's happening on the field. And if I talk about recruits, I'm talking about players who will not see the too deep. And it wasn't too long ago, just a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago, I had all these Arizona fans come into the live chat and start telling me, Rico, what about Elijah Rushing? What about our 5-star Elijah Rushing? He's amazing. He's going to Arizona. He flipped all this shit. And I said, guys, I'll talk about him when he hits the transfer portal. I don't care how many stars he has and if he committed to your school. He's not going there. He's going to change his mind, not get in the starting lineup. A bunch of shit's going to go wrong. Bro, Arizona's defense is good. They play great. They can hang with anybody. And they just lost Elijah Rushing. He decommits from Arizona football. This is why I don't talk about it. This is why I don't get excited. Recruitment back open. I don't get excited about this shit. Absolutely absurd. I can't even imagine where he's going to go. Recruitment back open. How about Nikar? Decommitting from Georgia. Remember, all the Georgia fans, we got a top wide receiver. We got a top wide receiver. Yeah, Nikar, straight in the state of Georgia, Colquitt County. Love everything about this kid. He's a beast on tape. I like his team. I like everything they're doing. He decommits, and now he's committed to Miami. We'll see if he changes his mind. You know, he might want to go play for a team that knows when to take a knee. But Cristobal and the boys figured out how to get Nikar to come to Miami instead of going to Georgia. It's not hard, man. Georgia doesn't throw to their receivers. Pretty simple stuff. And now Nikar flips. And I'm not even saying this is guaranteed. I don't get too excited about this either. This is exciting. High school football. Modern day St. John Bosco. The game sold out in 3 minutes. Bananas. The game sold out in 3 minutes. It's crazy. If you want to watch the game, it'll be on Bally Sports, that bankrupt-ass TV station. But modern day St. John Bosco, modern day number 1 ranked team in the country. St. John Bosco, probably the second best team in the country. They do have a loss, but they're still very, very talented. Shout out to them. Hey, when I covered St. John Bosco's football team, I did a video on their third string running back. Because I like to give a shout out to the guys who get no love. It can't be the starters on a high school team. It's got to be the third string running back. He's still FBS caliber. I'm excited for that game on Friday. Remember when I told you guys about Rush Probst? I still owe TikTok a video on this. It's going to go ham. But Rush Probst, if you don't know who he is, he's a cheating head coach. He used to be the head coach at, what was it? What was the name of the show? It was on MTV. I forgot the name of the show. I mean, it's Hoover High School, but the show was, what was it called? I'll have to look it back up. Wasn't Friday Night Lights. It was something crazy. It was a good show. It was in the early 2000s. He became famous for it. And then he won a bunch of state titles. It was not quarterback one. This is a long time ago. It'll come to me when it happens. When I make the video, I'll have the right name. And two-a-days. There it is. Thank you so much, Ron. And sure enough, Rush Probst got caught. If you guys don't know, he got caught having an affair. He didn't just have an affair. He had a second family, okay? He had a second family across town in Pell City, actually. His wife, his mistress, lived in Pell City. It's now his wife. But he had a wife and kids. He had been married for like 20 years to his high school sweetheart. Goes and flips, or to a woman that he'd been with since the 90s. But he'd been cheating on his wife for an entire generation because he had kids that were straight up teenagers. Like, he had other kids across town, a whole second family. It wasn't just like, I cheated on my wife, it's on the down low. No. He had a woman and kids. And they would go to the games. His other kids and his mistress would go to the games and sit next to the wife. They would be in the same stands. You're going to tell me wife didn't know? Anyways, this dude, he doesn't look anything like that photo down there. Rush Probst doesn't look anything like that photo. He survived cancer. But he's a cheater. Wanted to pay players, wanted to do things. He did it at Hoover. He went to Colquitt. Colquitt, by the way, same place that Nikar is at right now. He went across state lines. He was at Colquitt. He was cheating there too. They were winning state titles. Okay, he was giving kids pills, painkillers, and some other shit, sleeping pills, and I don't know what he was doing. He also didn't pay his income tax, his taxes. He didn't pay his taxes. It was like $450,000 in taxes. This guy did a lot of things wrong. A lot of things wrong. And then he went to Valdosta. And when he got to Valdosta, Titletown, USA, he made some terrible decisions. At Valdosta, that's when he got caught. Nub went out there and recorded him from the Touchdown Club, one of the Booster Club guys. And Nub is an ultimate sellout. And they caught him saying he wanted to pay players and pay for apartments. And Jake Garcia had to transfer and leave there. There's a whole lot of shit going on. He's the worst person alive. As far as coaching, look, he's an amazing coach. Makes a lot of poor personal decisions. So now he moved back to Pell City, back in Alabama. He's hired again for the fourth time. He's cheated everywhere he's gone. And he's at Pell City, and they had to forfeit a game. Their only win of the season, they had to forfeit it because he was using an ineligible player. This guy cheats, bro. He walks that fine line. He cheats all day. He got a quarterback to transfer in from California. They're still not winning games. They're competitive, but my goodness. Oh, yeah, there it says two-a-days. I didn't have to try to remember it. But there's a whole story I can make here. I've already done one of my most watched videos in the history of my channel is me providing the whole backstory of Rush Probst. One of my most watched videos. True story. So I'm not surprised to see him get caught cheating again. It's normal. TCU going without their starting quarterback. If you didn't know, Chandler Morris is one of the most injured quarterbacks of all time. He's down for a while. And after that, they're going to be playing their backup quarterback, Josh Hoover. Now, I don't know enough about Josh Hoover to make an educated guess on how this is going to go. But Iowa State's really playing better, guys. I'm cool with Iowa State and how well they're playing. But I didn't mean Iowa State. I meant BYU. BYU and how they're playing. I think BYU might be the favorite in this one. I'm going to have to go look into it. I didn't put it on my lock list, but it's something to look out for. If TCU doesn't have Chandler Morris, he makes that offense go. He's a gamer. He's a little feisty, and there's a reason Josh Hoover was on the bench. Remember, Josh Hoover was not supposed to be the backup. Their backup was Sam Jackson, and he left to go to Cal. So that's important for you guys to remember because these teams don't have as much depth as they used to. These teams aren't as good as you thought they were. The players on the bench were not supposed to see the field for a while. Unfortunately, here he is. Okay, and last year, Josh Hoover was fourth string, if anything, because Sam Jackson was third string. So it's just how you go through things, okay? Just something to think about. Something to think about. By the way, Iowa State dropped what would be a Hoover interception. Yeah, Hoover's out here playing pretty bad. He finished the game 11 for 19 with a touchdown interception, but it would have been 2 interceptions. You see him getting crunched down here. We'll see what happens. Trying to duel it out with Keaton Slovis. Hey, shout out to Vendetta V2. I don't know who you are, Vendetta V2. Congratulations, man. He posted this on Twitter. I'm not a big Twitter guy, but he's an MVP, and he did a same-game parlay. Some MVPs pay attention more than others. So if you were on the MVP chart, you saw we hit on Western Kentucky. But he watched the live streams, he paid attention to the prop bets, and he put it all together. And he ended up with a plus 1225. Are you kidding me? Plus 1,225. And he hit on the parlay. He did everything I talked about. And he said straight from the MVP sheet. Some MVPs are doing it right. Others are blind-tailing and losing their ass. There ain't nothing to it but to do it, bruh. Scared money don't make money. And this is the type of shit I like right here. Shout out to Vendetta V2. I don't know who he is. Don't know this man, but that's a hell of a win right there. Congratulations. I'd like to see more of that on TikTok. Let's get it. Now we're transitioning to ACC, guys. Only ACC questions. What you need to know, Winston Wright Jr. removed from Florida State roster. I'm going to make a video on this on TikTok. This is injury related. This can't be character related. Not that I know of. Winston Wright Jr. was the leading receiver at West Virginia 2 years ago. And he transferred to Florida State and got injured, and I haven't really seen him do anything. So it's just one of those things where I don't know what happens. He missed the season due to preseason injury last year. But before that, he played ball, man. This guy was good. Now he's not on the roster. I don't know if that means he has a year of eligibility left. I have to look into it more. I just saw the story as I was getting ready for the show, and I just thought, man, that sucks. So there you go. Winston Wright removed from the team. I got to move this over because I want to keep it because I plan to make a story about it. Former Virginia Tech head coach Justin Fuente has a new job. Hey, Virginia Tech, don't worry. Justin Fuente is actually working at Indiana, and he's just an analyst. He's got a new job as an analyst at Indiana. I don't know if that position pays or if it's an internship. I hope it pays. But Fuente needs to get back into working, and I hope that works out for him. He used to work, remember, he was a head coach at Memphis, and he had a winning record at Memphis. Then he went to Virginia Tech, and the wheels fell off, and now he's unemployed. You know, that's got to suck for some of these guys. You had a head coaching job where you're making good money, and then you go from making good money to no money. So I'm happy for him to finally find another job. Shout out to Justin Fuente. Do your thing, bro. Now let's get into the games. Independent games. UMass, Penn State. Can't talk about it. It's an MVP game. It's on the MVP lock sheet. I broke it down for the MVPs in their video today. Troy Army, broke it down for MVPs in their video today. USC, Notre Dame, broke it down for MVPs in their video today. We'll not be talking about any of those games. La Tech, Middle Tennessee State. It's an MVP lock. MVP lock. These will not be talked about. And the only reason I'm not talking about these 8 games right here from Conference USA is because they're all played during the week, and I automatically make those games for MVPs. I give it to them. During the week, I give them a play all week long. If you want to know about these teams and the matchups and get one of those same game parlays like you just saw off Twitter for plus 1,200, become an MVP. That's the reality of the situation. If you're not one, you won't learn about these teams. ACC. Matchups in the ACC, Syracuse, Florida State. So I'm hesitant to put this on the board, but I'm going to tell you about it. Florida State is like a 20-point favorite. Something insane. They're disrespecting Syracuse. Syracuse is not good. Florida State's got to hit on all cylinders to cover that spread. It's very possible, though. Very possible. Oh, and if you want to go see the game, it's pretty cheap. $19 for tickets. I'm pretty sure you can find some tickets to this game. Nobody wants to see it. Go watch some good football. But Florida State to cover this spread against Syracuse. We're looking at, what's the spread say? It says 17.5. It might even be bigger. 17.5, that's 3 touchdowns, y'all. That's nuts. That's 2 touchdowns and a field goal, or 3 touchdowns. But that's how bad Syracuse is. I told you guys Syracuse was going to get beat 42-10, 42-14, something like that. North Carolina. It's going to be a similar beatdown. Syracuse does not match up well with these teams. They're out here beating these teams. They don't match up well with these caliber teams. That's what this comes down to. Florida State, though, I haven't seen them dominate anybody with that kind of spread. Not with that kind of spread. 17.5. How are you going to do that to Syracuse? You didn't do it to Virginia Tech. Doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense to me. Can't bet it, bro. If you were going to bet it, you got to go Syracuse. Wake Forest, West Virginia. I'm sorry, Wake Forest, Virginia Tech. It's on the road for Wake Forest. They got to go to Virginia Tech. It's kind of a rivalry. Kind of matters. But I'm going to tell you right now, Virginia Tech looks revitalized. They look excited. They want to play some players. Hey, there's some players in this game that know each other really well. Bishol Tutton, Brad Roberts. Like, these guys know each other. Okay? I'm excited to see if Virginia Tech can keep the ball rolling. They got a good thing for the last 2 weeks. So let's see what they can do here. Wake Forest is the most frustrating team in America. I don't know how they're doing it. I don't know how they're keeping up with people and ruining spreads, but Wake Forest is. Pittsburgh, Louisville, MVP game. Can't talk about it. Miami, North Carolina, MVP lock. Won't talk about it. And NC State at Duke, MVP lock. Won't talk about it. I'll talk about individual players, but not those matchups. All right. Talked all I could. Let's go over to chat and see what's happening. Shout out to everybody who's here. Shout out to the 50, 60 people watching on TikTok. Hey, if you want to ask me any questions about football, any sports, move over to YouTube. I will answer your question. All you got to do is put it in the chat. I'll interact with you. If you're just watching me, cool. Doesn't get me paid. Doesn't do anything for me. Shout out to YouTube. Let's go. Good day. Boss Omar says, good day, sir. Good day, man. Good to see you. Seth says, Oregon fumbled with a minute left under Cristobal 2. It's a trend. Yeah, man. He's talking about that ridiculous fumble by Miami with the game, in the balance. They already had it won, and all they had to do was take knees against Georgia Tech, and they decided to run the ball. There's other things that go wrong, right? You lose that ball, but you could have also decided a number of things. You could have decided to play prevent defense and not let anybody get behind you. If you're the running back, why are you fighting for an extra yard? The game's already won. You're the quarterback. Why not just take the knee? Audible. Get yelled at. Win the game. None of this shit. I hope people can figure it out. Why isn't Cristobal in the mic saying, hey, we're not doing that? Absolutely ridiculous. Couldn't believe it. Insane. Yeah, and it's happened before, right? Happy Monday, everyone. Welcome to Joseph Villalon Memorial Chat. I heard RicoKnows.org will have a t-shirt up soon. I might do a GoFundMe page. If you guys didn't know, RicoKnows.org, that's where you get the merch. But we got a guy, I think it's Jonathan Villalon. I don't think it's Joseph. I think it's Jonathan Villalon. And Jonathan Villalon is a diehard Texas fan, and he is MIA. He is missing. He told us Texas was going to beat Oklahoma by 40. Told us he was going to wave to Oklahoma fans as they left the stadium in the third quarter. And I believe Jonathan Villalon is probably no longer with us. And if you find him, take away his shoelaces. Take away his belt. Keep him, escort that man. Ace. Ask him if he's okay. Ask him if he's thinking about hurting himself. Then care. Right? Care about him. Let him know somebody cares about him. And then E, escort him. Escort. Ace. ACE. Ask, care, and escort. Escort that man to the nearest help desk. Escort him to a hospital, an emergency room, a counselor. Don't let him out of your sight. Jonathan Villalon he's down bad, y'all. I know it. I want to do a GoFundMe page to take care of that man. He said he bet everything he owns on Texas. He said he was going an easy 3,000 on Texas money line because it was the easiest money in the world. I hope he's okay. Shout out to Jaden Tornanu. Just became an MVP. Congratulations, Jaden. Welcome to the family. BP the Great. Your friends don't know, but BP the Great knows. Zach Johnson just became an MVP. Congratulations. Douglas County, some dogs. Shout out to Seth. He's talking about Douglas County, one of the best football teams in the state of Georgia. They beat Hughes earlier this year, 30-27. Hughes is a monster team with Aaron Nolan and a bunch of other great players, and Douglas County does not care. They're here to take your lunch money. I love what Douglas County's doing this year. Shout out to them. They look great. There's a couple of teams that look really great. And I'm telling you, man, there's about 10 teams in Georgia I'm really impressed with. If you don't know about Georgia high school football, I do a weekly wrap-up of Georgia high school teams. You can learn a lot about them watching my videos. It's like a 10-minute long video every single week. All the Georgia fans beg for it. All the fans of Georgia high school football beg for this video. I tried not to make it this week. I let it go till Monday, and they were mad. They want to know where it was Saturday, Sunday. It takes me like an hour and a half to make the video. True story. I got to talk about 400 high school teams. Rico Knows, baby. What up, Ricky Bobby? Lewis Henton, give me that thumbs up. Roll Tide roll, baby. Brandon Burrell says, opinions on West Virginia's start, and could they beat Oklahoma or Texas to make the Big 12 championship? Brandon Burrell, that question is a Big 12 question, and that should come on Wednesdays. That's when I talk Big 12, Wednesdays. Joseph Villalon, is it Joseph or Jonathan? Man, I might be wrong. A Villalon missing person shirt would go hard. Pause. Okay, Evan Kramer, it would go hard. I'll think about it. I don't know what the guy looks like, bro. Welcome in, MVPs. Baby, you guys got huge locks this week. Shout out to Ricky Bobby. He doesn't know. His name is not in green. What do you think Louisville's realistic ceiling is? So, Abelson Bartholomew, thank you for the great question. I think Louisville's ceiling is ACC champion. I think their ceiling is the playoffs. If they go undefeated and run the table, you know, we got something really unique going on here in the ACC, just so everybody's tracking what's happening. 3 teams can go undefeated in the ACC. 3 teams can go undefeated in the ACC because they don't play each other. Was it supposed to be Miami and they lost? I know it's North Carolina. No, it's North Carolina, Louisville, and Florida State. North Carolina, Louisville, and Florida State don't play each other. So they can all go undefeated. Only 2 of them can be in the conference championship game. And then one of them is going to get left out. And do they make the playoffs? It's the weirdest thing. It's insane. I know it's not likely, but it can happen. 3 teams in the ACC can go undefeated. I'm going to make a video about it. Shout out to Dogs in Autumn for bringing it up. One of my boys, he talks about stuff on TikTok and doesn't get enough praise. I'm going to tag him in it so people understand. That guy's a smart dude just sitting around just shooting the shit. He's out there on his porch making videos that I like. Shout out to Dogs in Autumn. What's good, peeps? What up, Jerry? How you doing? Good to see you. Evan Kramer, what the people want. A bunch of dead bodies. Tutton is him. Drones is getting better. So, if you don't know, Byshal Tootin Tutton. Byshal Tootin Tutton. Byshal Tutton. Running back for Virginia Tech. Transfer from North Carolina A&T. 1,400-yard rusher last year. Really slow start this year. Not in the starting lineup. Had some injuries or something slowing him down. Or he just wasn't the starter. Over time, Virginia Tech has started to trust him. And just this last weekend, this man had a kickoff return for a touchdown. And he's doing well rushing. Tutton's really getting under himself, like he's getting better. We know what caliber of player he is. We know how good he is. Virginia Tech just needs to feed him the rock. He's doing well. And then Drones on the other end. Kyron Drones is a quarterback transfer from Baylor to Virginia Tech. Didn't get the starting job. They went with Grant Wells initially, and now they got Drones, and he's starting to really hit stride and play better than he normally does, or than he's had in the past. So shout out to Drones. Shout out to Jerry for paying attention to those 2 young men at Virginia Tech. Rico would have to give me the okay on anything like that. It would be funny, though. Nobody's going to buy the shirt. RicoKnows.org. I'm going to do a GoFundMe for RicoKnows.org. I'm going to do a fundraiser to pay for the memorial service for Jonathan Villalon. The only thing you got to do is go to RicoKnows.org and purchase a shirt. All proceeds will go to Villalon's memorial service. How you like that? Let me know what you guys think. As 3 shirts sell. Is Notre Dame defense good enough to slow down USC's offense? Mr. MJ, I don't think so. I don't think anybody's defense is good enough to slow down USC's offense. I really don't. I think what you have to do is win a shootout with USC. Go blow for blow. You have to. Arizona's got a good defense. They really do. And they matched up well. And they still held them. I know it was triple overtime. But held them under 50 is tough. They're a tough team, man. USC's a tough team. They score a lot of points. They have a lot of dynamic parts. And some of their players can just go. Some of their players can just go. They got about 6 guys that can beat you. 6 guys. Taj Washington, Rice, Branch, Lloyd, Jones. Like, I'm missing so many other guys. They got players. Obviously, Caleb Williams himself. They got players. Yeah. Rico, but I think Notre Dame's good enough to score with them as well. Because of how bad USC's defense is, I think Notre Dame's going to put up some points. They can score. But whatever Louisville just did to Notre Dame, they better hope USC can't do that to them. I can't talk about the matchup itself. I'm just going to tell you, it doesn't look good if Louisville has the damn blueprint. Rico, hose on top. Who's on top? Hose on top. Just kidding. This might be our only win outside of Virginia Tech. Oh, my bad. You guys are going to win more than that. I don't know. We'll see what's up. Kamari Parker, I didn't know what you were saying. I was like, who's hose? What's up, Rico? If FSU, North Carolina, and Louisville all go undefeated, look at this. TD Florida talking about it. Who makes the ACC championship game? Does it go by point total? And do you think the situations like this will occur more often with conference expansion and no divisions? So as the conference get bigger, of course, it can happen more often because they won't be all playing each other. So that can happen as conference grow. No divisions helps, right? It helps, but the sad reality is they only play 8 conference games in the ACC. They're doing, if you've ever seen a conference do the same shit SEC's doing, this is how you do it. This is how you get undefeated teams in your conference. You just play 8 conference games. If they played a 9th conference game, one of them had to play each other. You can Pac-12, bro. Oregon, Washington, USC all got to play each other this year. There's no other way around it. They all got to play each other. Those 3 great teams, somebody's losing. Somebody's losing more than once. Somebody's losing more than once. And they're a lot better than these other undefeated teams. So, I don't know who goes to the conference championship. I haven't checked to see what the tiebreaker is. It's usually point differential. So, we'll see. It might be points allowed. Some shit like that. I'll double check what all the tiebreakers are before I make the video on it. But thank you for the great question. Didn't know you were going to bring it up. Didn't see it in chat. I just gave myself a Dutch oven. Ricky Bobby is a child. Who do you blame for Miami's gaffe? Offensive coordinator or head coach? OC probably called the play, but Cristobal had 2 timeouts when he saw them running the play. Shouldn't he have stopped it? Well, hindsight's 20/20. We all think he should have interjected and stopped it. But you hire an offensive coordinator to do a job. Do you trust him to do it? Right? Do you trust him to do it? You do have the right and authority to override everything. But I blame everybody, man. I blame the players. I blame the coaches. I definitely blame the offensive coordinator before the head coach. Ultimately, the head coach has to take responsibility for it, but it's the offensive coordinator who called that play. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. And you don't want to know something? That man, the offensive coordinator for Miami, he came over from Houston. I watched Houston lose games that they shouldn't have been losing because of some of their approaches to calling games and things. You're talking about Clayton Tune and Tank Dell. And the year before that, it was Clayton Tune, Tank Dell, and Alto. Like they had a great 3-headed monster. and they're still losing games. There's just some people some people just lose. They don't know how to win. And you got to change the culture of your team if you want to win that game. And if anything, you lose that fumble, I still blame defensive coordinator for getting beat deep. There's no way you don't have a prevent defense up. There's no way you don't keep everything in front of you. You have the best secondary in America, and that happens to you. They can't be the best now. I had the 5th most points in week 6 of the Rico Knows group. Jesse Castellano, shout out to you, bruh. Check this out, guys. He's talking about the pick'em. We are struggling in the pick'em. This week, I want to show you guys something really cool to prove to you that I'm sorry, I was reading something as I was saying that. To prove to you that nobody got anything right. In the college pick'em, in the group, I do something where I pick the worst percentages, the lowest percentages every single week. Okay? And it's called Rico Knows Upsets. I'm intentionally trying to pick the worst teams. And if you looked at the results from this past week, here it is. Look at my week 6 results. Look at my highest scoring team, 39 points. Rico Knows Upsets. When I was intentionally trying to miss, I went in here and I intentionally, week 6, I went ahead and picked the lowest percentage teams. So Iowa State, Wyoming. Oh, and I didn't move I don't even move their stuff. I picked Louisville over Notre Dame, Louisiana over Texas State. It was all the smallest percentages. Purdue over Iowa, A&M, UCLA, Marshall, Missouri. I picked all the underdogs. And it scored my most points. I scored a 39. That's nuts. So this man in the chat right now, Jesse Castellanos, there he is in 5th place, 5th most in the group this week. Hey, look, man, he's had 3 good weeks. He's had multiple weeks over here. Looking at that, 42 and 40. All those weeks are great. Those are better than a lot of the weeks I do. I've only had a 44, and most of them are in my 30s. This guy's killing it every week. Shout out to Jesse, bro. Shout out to Jesse. Where you at on the points chart, bro? You're probably not up there, huh? You might have missed a couple weeks early. It happens. Toasty Nose is back. Shout out to Toasty Nose. But look at that. Stumbling, bumbling, fumbling. This guy watching too much Chris Berman. This man is 45 and 15. He had a 55 week. You know that's a perfect score? Week 4. Look what that dude did in week 4. If I pick that, I'm sorry. He did a 55 week. Where's it at? A lot of people got a perfect week that week. If I go back to week 4, that was the week Washington State beat Oregon State, Kansas beat BYU, Florida State beat Clemson. He had North Carolina beating Pitt. He believed in all these picks. Utah beating UCLA, Ohio State beating Notre Dame, Bama, Ole Miss, K-State, UCF, Missouri beating, man, that was an easy call that week. A lot of people hit on that one. This guy's kicking ass, taking names. Shout out to Stumbling, Bumbling, Fumbling, whoever he is. And everybody's beating me, bro. I'm at 366, doing my best, trying to move up. We got a couple weeks left. I'm trying to get in the top 250. Shout out to you for being here, though, Castellanos, man. That's awesome. Congratulations. Our group's hard to beat. No doubt about it, Uncle Rico. What's up, Rico? Ready for a rebound week. Travis Short, let's do it, man. What is Notre Dame's ceiling this year? Robert Lopez, their ceiling is, and Robert Lopez is pretty good in the pick'em as well. I see his name all the time. Ceiling for Notre Dame is, they only have 1 loss, right? They have 2 losses now? Oh, you have 2 losses. You can't get to the playoffs. So what's their ceiling? Winning the rest of their games, they're not getting to the playoffs. What's their ceiling? Top 10 ranking? They're done already. Stop lying to yourself. Hokies will win the Commonwealth Cup. Look at Jerry. 2-a-days. Thank you. Hey, Rico, what teams do you think are really good but just not college football playoff level? Elijah Johnson. So many teams, Elijah. By each conference. I think Duke's really good. I think Oregon State's really good. UCLA. I can go through every conference and point out really good teams right on the fringe. Ole Miss, Penn State, Wisconsin, Maryland. These are really good teams. North Carolina, they're not going to the playoffs. Not while it's only 4 teams, but they're really good teams. They're getting ready for next year. Next year will be really exciting. We'll see what happens. I forgot all about two-a-days. See that? Ryan, it's ACC day. He's not going to answer. Thank you. MTV needs to do a where are they now two-a-days? Oh, most of those players didn't turn out, man. Most of those players didn't pan out. A lot of them were getting paid. A ton of them were getting paid. And a lot of them were doing steroids. I did a whole search on this thing. BYU has a better team even with Chandler Morris. Shout out to Steve. Steve knows what's up. I think Steve hates TCU, though. I don't know. Who's your top 5 receivers in college right now? Ryan Kelly, my top 5 receivers in college. What are you basing this on? Like, how do you determine your top 5? Is it by stats? Or is it by talent and draft position and potential? Like, how would you do it, bro? I'm just curious how you would do it. Because when you look at the top receivers in the country right now, just by sheer yards, right, production, I love everything Luther Burden does. He's fast as hell, right? I don't personally like any of these guys. Well, I mean, I like them. But if I'm evaluating players, Luther Burden sticks out to me on tape. Rome sticks out to me on tape. Torrey Horton sticks out to me. That's 3. Malachi Corley, that's 4. Jamari Thrash, that's 5. Like, a lot of people have different yards, and there's Marvin Harrison Jr. We get it. He's the first pick in the draft and all that shit. First wide receiver off the board. But if you're asking me my 5 favorite wide receivers, my top 5 wide receivers, Gage Larvadane is a problem. You got to see Gage Larvadane play football, and you know what I'm talking about. You see that 24-yard average over there? Gage Larvadane is great. C.J. Daniels is great for Liberty. You're going to see him tomorrow. C.J. Daniels is the truth. 26 yards a catch. That dude's straight out of Parkview, straight out of Georgia. There's studs everywhere. Studs everywhere. It's all your flavor. BC with the hard-earned W at Army this weekend. Proud of the Eagles. Tommy C was balling. Yeah. Castellanos rushed for 4 touchdowns. They got it done with their only weapon. I'm going to tell you right now, the day you get excited about beating Army and your Boston College, you have really lowered the bar on your goals. I think Hafley needs to be fired just for being in a game in a slugfest with Army. I really do. Boston College used to win 7 games every year no matter what. And now they could only dream of winning 7 games. Why do I feel that two-a-days and Teen Mom followed essentially the same people? Do you see UNC beating anyone in the current top 10? No, Elijah Johnson. Well, I think they could beat Ohio State. I think Ohio State's a fraud. I think they could beat Ohio State. The rest of them, no. Justin Fuentes was good at Memphis. Yes, he was. Winston Wright got beat out by Destin Hill. Yeah, so Destin Hill, if you guys don't know who Destin Hill is, this was a good wide receiver. He, coming out of high school, one of the top-ranked wide receivers, 4-star, and then he never enrolled in school. Had some personal problems. I don't know if it was grades or what, but he just didn't ever enroll in school. It's been 2 years. And then he finally showed up this year, and he's on the team. And he's good. Destin Hill's good. And he's beating out dudes who thought they were going to be on the team. Super Bowl winning record at Memphis. I don't know what that means. Super winning record at Memphis? Oh, it wasn't super. It was just okay. He just had a winning record. Shedeur Sanders is 4-2 with 2,000 passing yards, number 1 in the nation, and 19 total touchdowns with the worst offensive line in the country. Just showed how skilled and talented Shedeur is, best quarterback in the nation. Yeah, Dre, I don't think he's the best quarterback in the nation at all, but I do think he's a very good player. I'm a Shedeur Sanders dude. I've been in his corner all offseason. I don't think he's in the top 5. I think he's good. He's not. I mean, we can go ham. I don't care about everything you just quoted. When I look at the best skilled quarterbacks in the nation, obviously Caleb Williams is the best one. It just is. Caleb Williams carries himself with a different pedigree. I don't know what to tell you. Caleb Williams, I like Drake May. I still like Caleb Williams, Drake May. I think Shedeur Sanders is in the same field as Brady Cook, TJ Finley. Like, TJ Finley's balling out of control, looking crisp and sharp. But Davis, Brin, Cam Ward, like, it's all that next level guy that makes the right read, makes the right throw, has an offense built around him. But there's guys like Bo Nix, bro. Bo Nix is a complete quarterback. Seth Hennigan, these are good quarterbacks. I could go down the list and find good quarterbacks. Garrett Schrader, good quarterback. So it's just, it's apples and oranges, man. Shedeur Sanders is a good quarterback. I like him. Been a fan. I was a fan before anybody else. Trust. What up, Rico? Blessings, brother. How much to join MVP? Ryan Kelly, it is $25 a month. Fente wasn't bad, but, Fuentes. But he wasn't good for Virginia Tech culture. It makes sense. But we're already calling for Stu Holt's head, so what do fans know? Yeah, Jerry. They want to fire everybody, bro. They want the Big East days back. They want Michael Vick, Marcus Vick. They want to recruit the Hamptons area again. That's what they want. It's ACC day, bro. Enough with Slurpee. I don't know what the hell that is. I'm ready. I don't even know who Slurpee is, bro. I don't talk that slang. I'm ready for this Liberty game tomorrow. Hey, VG Werner. So am I, bro. You better become an MVP, Travis, or you'll lose it all. I'm going to bounce back this week. Aren't we all? Ricky, I am an MVP. Ricky, the name's in green. At Kim, oh my bad. Rip John, MVP Zach. Let's go, son. Don't forget to like the stream. Thank you. Nobody does like it. They just in here watching. Nobody ever hits the like button. This past weekend was the best weekend I've had so far. Shout out to Jeremiah Spencer. I don't know what everyone is talking about. Also, everyone needs to give UNC more respect. Hey, Jeremiah Spencer, shout out to you, man. Some MVPs are hitting on all cylinders, and others are just mad that the list didn't pay them any money. It's crazy. It's nuts. Is UVA going to win another game all season? Ben Itzvan. Let's go find out. Is UVA going to win another game all season? How do I want to do this? Let's go to week 8. Is UVA going to win another game all season? They got a shot. They got Georgia Tech, and they got Virginia Tech. The most they're going to win is 3 games. They got a shot to win 3 games. Good luck. It'll be a tight squeeze there. It's not in their favor, but I see them possibly winning 3 games. Possibly. Like it's mathematically possible. Morris looked okay, 4 touchdowns, 265 yards. Just got to clean up those interceptions. Of course. MVPs are sitting back cashing bets while pimple-faced kids hate. Andrew. Nobody's cashing more checks than me while all these pimple-faced kids hate, bro. I'm feeling all right. Feeling really good about my $5 bet on Louisville to win the ACC you said to take in week 2. Shout out to Evan Kramer. I did say that in week 2. Put a bet on Louisville to win the entire ACC. I called it a long time ago. Thank you, Kramer, for Evan, for believing in me. Now, hopefully you get that date with that country singer, bro. Michigan, natty. Michigan will put the locks on USC. Put USC on locks. I don't know what you're talking about. Zachariah Branch, he's a dog. None of this has anything to do with the ACC. Does anyone know who won on that Sunday night football game? Because my friends don't know, but Rico knows. Shout out to Willie Bobo. The 49ers obviously won. How you feeling about Drake May's season? It's looking good, Bobby, all right? It's looking great. He's got McCollum there. He's found the right targets. He's leading his team to victory. Their defense looks much better than anticipated. Elijah Huzzy's coming through in the clutch. North Carolina surprised the hell out of me. If you guys want to talk about a team that I was down on all season, all off season, it was North Carolina. And I don't even care what happens the rest of the way. They've really impressed me. They really have. And I just didn't see that coming. Sorry about that. I think I heard somebody outside. UNC versus Florida State would be the ACC championship game if they go undefeated. Louisville doesn't play Clemson. Okay. I don't know what that has to do with anything. I don't know what that has to do with anything. What is Notre Dame missing to get over the hump the past few years? Players. They're just missing players. They don't have all the right players. They're not very good. Like people think they're good. They're not. They're missing players. I like TCU fine. Just after watching both teams multiple times, feel like BYU has more pop. Hey, Rico, I know it's not high school film review time, but you need to check out a kid named Arthur Woods from Reeltown High in Alabama. He's a small school kid with a lot of speed. So there's a kid in Alabama I need to look at, and it's not him. I wrote it down earlier today. It's a kid named Fluff. DeMarvion Bothwell. He plays both ways. DeMarvion Bothwell is a kid that I'm looking into from Alabama. I'll be making a video on him sometime this week. But yeah, you're right. It is not time for me to do high school film reviews. I'm in the season. I'm busy. I'm trying to do as many as I can, but I don't have much time for high school film reviews. And it sucks because there's a lot of kids out there waiting. And I feel bad, man. Hey, shout out to LGZ7. That's my boy. If you guys don't know, LGZ7. I grew up with this young man. We were neighbors. He said, yo, Rico, let the rhythm take you, ho. I once had a mic in my hand. I used to pop hoes, but now it's late. Okay, anyways, it's a rap song. Shout out to Second and None, number 5 on the album. Let the rhythm take you, ho. Okay. Junior Martin, what makes you think Ohio State is a fraud? That's not an ACC question. Thank you for the question, though. You should rank those wide receivers by average yards. I think that's a better metric. Oh, I'm not too worried about it, Stephen Guy. If you're interested in seeing average yards, it's not always a better metric because there's like a little guy. Where did I put the stats at here? There's a guy, and he's always open. John Tavy, where is he at? There it is. John Tay Wester. He's got 9.6 yards per average. He's a little dude. He's always open. 52 receptions, right? But it doesn't matter. Like, these dudes are studs, bro. These guys that get all these passes right here, Smoke Harris, Torrey Horton, LeJontay Wester, these are all studs. But everybody's caught up on this. When you do it by average, you get a bunch of dudes who never get the ball. 16, 10, 18, this is where we're at, right? So we got to go with over 10 receptions. Chris Lewis is a stud. Baldwin, these are deep threat guys. Jaquan Jackson's good. Caleb Medford's a transfer from TCU. Like, I can go down and tell you who all these guys are. Brennan Thompson, transfer from Texas, only 2 receptions. Right? It's just, you're going to get an Army guy in here. They don't throw to Army. When Army finally throws, it doesn't mean Isaiah Austin's any good. It just means that when they throw, nobody expected it. Right? So it's a little different on this list. There's Marvin Harrison Jr. way down here. I like Lawrence Keys III, though. You see this guy right here? Lawrence Keys III? Stud. Eric McAllister, straight out of Texas. Stud. Javon Baker, Alabama transfer. These are all beasts right here. These bottom 5? Bro, these bottom 5. Wesley Grims, he's a transfer too. Where'd he transfer from? Is he not a transfer? He's not. Thought he was a transfer. The bottom 5 are beasts. Dylan Wright's a transfer, straight out of Minnesota, Colorado. There's good players around here. Yeah, it's cool. It's an interesting conversation. Who you got, Rico? Green Bay or Las Vegas? You know I'm going with the Cheeseheads. It's Jordan Love time, baby. All right, give me Green Bay. I've never been a real Raiders guy. Marcus Vick messed up so bad he came back home and worked in the shipyard with me. Hey, Coaches Bryant. Shout out to you, man. Who's your top 5 college quarterbacks based off bringing NFL talent? I don't make that assessment, Elijah Johnson, until after the football season. I don't even bother with that right now. It's after the football season, I'll look into it. You said the only top 10 team you think UNC would beat is Ohio State. What about Florida State? I have to make that decision when they play each other. They don't play each other. Notre Dame struggles with pedigree, in my opinion, because they no longer the only team televised every week, which hurts their recruiting. Yeah. The advantage they had was they had a national recruiting, contract when no one else did. So for years upon years, that's what they were known for, right? They had a national TV contract and no one else did. So you could get all the recruits. You got Rocket Ishmael, Ricky Waters. You started getting everybody that was good for a long time. Now everybody's comparable. Everybody has similar. That's not an advantage anymore. As a matter of fact, it's a slight disadvantage because you're not on ESPN. What up, LG? Look at that, LGZ7. When can I ask Big Ten questions? Junior Martin, Big Ten is tomorrow. It is tomorrow. Yo, LG, Rico, take a different approach because I treat you first class just to ride you like coach. I don't treat myself. I try to eat myself. But the girls I'm how to resist, they try to eat myself. Yeah. What happened with Georgia Tech? I feel like around 8 years ago, they were very respectable, and now they aren't like that. Junior Martin, they're doing great. They're really improved over the last 2 years. Definitely the last year. Brent Key's they got a great coach. They got Chris Winkie at quarterbacks coach. They're recruiting well. They're winning the transfer portal. Georgia Tech's doing great, and they're recruiting the state of Georgia really well. Georgia Tech's got a stud quarterback on the way. Beast. I already made a video about him. Georgia Tech is good. It just takes time. And you're in the ACC. It's hard to compete with everybody. There's some good teams out there. But their trajectory's up. Now, you're talking about years and years ago when they had Joey Hamilton and they were good with Calvin Johnson and all. They weren't even that great, but they were okay. It's coaching, bro. They have different coaches from then. Paul Johnson's not there anymore. They went through some bad coaches. And now they got a good one. How long before Virginia Tech turns it around and becomes the powerhouse they once were? Yeah, Jerry, I don't think that's a thing. I don't think Virginia Tech's going to be a powerhouse with their current structure and the conference they're in. And nope, I don't think they're going to be a powerhouse. So how long? Very long. Sorry if I missed it. Has Cristobal come out and said anything about his decision? He just said it was his fault. He said he made a mistake. He took ownership of the mistake. Is Marcus Freeman a good enough coach to get Notre Dame to playoffs and potentially win? Marcus Freeman's a good enough coach. The players aren't good enough players to get there. But Marcus Freeman is a good enough coach. He's a good coach. He does well. He's charismatic. He recruits. He does all the right things. They just don't have the pieces right now. They try to fix an issue. Their quarterback's the issue. And they had bad quarterbacks. They went and grabbed Sam Hartman in the transfer portal, and then the entire media tried to paint Sam Hartman as this Heisman guy, tried to paint him as this amazing quarterback. So I've watched Sam Hartman for 5 years. I know Sam Hartman. I know him really well. I feel like I know everything he can do. So I went back and watched the tape very slowly and just paid attention to Sam Hartman as a player. And I'm like, hey, he's not that good. Sam Hartman's not that good. He's inaccurate. A.T. Perry's 6'5" and had a catch radius and made him look better than he is. He's not that good. And then I started paying attention. I'm like, wait, hold on. There's no wide receivers at Notre Dame. Their star wide receiver just transferred to Ohio State. Their other wide receiver, Caleb Smith, just came in the transfer portal. He medically retired. I don't think they're going to have a passing game. And then they start playing games and they have a passing game. And everybody goes, oh, Rico, you were wrong. No, I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. And it's coming to fruition now. When it matters most, against the best teams, they're struggling. They don't look good. That's the reality of the situation. They don't look good. And it's going to be that way. Sam Hartman is not built for winning major games. Like, he's just not that guy. This is a Wake Forest quarterback. And you're all make-believing like he's a Heisman. Like he's a finalist somewhere. Like he's going to win national titles. They don't have the pieces to be competitive against elite teams. It was ugly against Ohio State. Ugly. And worse against Louisville. And worse against Duke. Duke was supposed to win that game. I apologize. My dog is amped. Kim, you okay? Okay. She'll get better. Sorry about that. Yeah, that's what Notre Dame's problem is. How we doing, Rico? Hope you're having a good day today. I'm having a blessed day. What do you think of Malik Washington? He's carrying our offense right now. Yes, he is. Shout out to Malik Washington. Northwestern transfer. Good player. Great wide receiver. If you go back over here and you looked at leading yards, Malik Washington right there. Stud. 668. He's always open. He's your only offensive weapon. It's a sad day. Problem is his quarterbacks aren't all that great. I like Colin Dre. He's a fun kid to watch. Tony Muskett leaves a lot to be desired, but another fun guy to cheer for. But they're underdog type dudes. They're not dominating games. They're not showing up. You watch them and you're just kind of like, oh, they're playing pretty good. Malik Washington's good, man. I like him. You thinking about putting your show on Apple Podcasts? Bobby Albright, I'm thinking about it. It's just a lot to do, man. I have a lot of moving parts. It's just me, and I have a lot of shit going on. So I'll eventually get to it. I got to buy another iPhone and have Kim start cross-posting things for me. But that's probably going to happen after this season. We got a lot of things we got to work on. I'm still in the process of retiring, selling my house, moving. I got a lot of moving parts outside, behind the scenes that you guys don't know about. And once we get settled in, we get into the swing of things, there will be Apple Podcast cross-posting, Instagram cross-posting, Facebook cross-posting. All that will happen. But for now, we're just a little busy. We're a little busy living life. But I feel you, man. Sorry, I'm new to the channel. I will watch way more. Thank you, Junior Martin. Every single day has a different conference. Thanks for the live, Rico and Kim. I have a personal vendetta against Brent Pry, so I'm glad they sucked. Evan, don't do that. What are your thoughts on having an offense and defensive head coach in this era? I feel like NFL is trending towards mostly successful coaches being offensive, but college has been more defensive-minded. Yeah, Junior Martin, I don't even think it's that. I think it's just better recruiting. In college, the team with the better players typically wins about 90% of the time. So you just recruit better players, you win games. What your expertise is your business. Doesn't matter. The innovative minds, the innovative offensive minds, they win games in college too. You just don't put any credit to it because they don't recruit the best players. They don't have the best recruited players right now. Right? There's new guys who know things. They're doing amazing things. You're looking at Louisville. That innovative mind's winning games. Jeff Brom's winning games. Right? USC's winning games. There's offenses out there winning games. You're just not. Colorado's winning games. It's just who's winning the national title. The team with the best players. And then it just so happens they're defensive-minded coaches. Only 5 coaches have won national titles. Only 5. And out of 133. Only 5 right now have a national title to their name. So how is that an indicator of what's success and what's not? And as far as the NFL coaching goes, it's all nepotism. NFL, to be a head coach in the NFL, you just have to know someone. You just have to know someone. You got your foot in the door because you know someone. You didn't earn your way to the top. You didn't start winning at high school, winning at college, then you're winning at the pro. You didn't work your way up. Nope, you know somebody on the coaching staff. You got in. You're somebody's kid. That's what it is. That's why there's no black coaches. The worst coaching decision in the history of college football is hardly a mistake. What was he even trying to accomplish? Stephen Guyette, I don't know. Ash Sounding Bell for dinner. Rico, appreciate the content you put out, man. Thank you so much, Sports Chronicle. I appreciate you, bro. Any teams you recommend watching this season that aren't getting talked about enough? Aaron Schmalling, Texas State is must-see TV. Texas State, Ishmael Mahdi at running back. Texas State's the best team to watch. They're exciting. UAB, exciting to watch. They have amazing players. They're just great teams to watch. I'm excited about every team, so you're asking the wrong guy. Like, what I recommend you do, Aaron, is do the college football watch party with us every single night. We do a college football watch party, and then every Saturday we do a college football watch party. Come watch football with us. The MVPs, me, all the fans, we know every team. We get excited about every game, and we'll explain to you what the fuck's going on and why we're so excited. It's amazing. You just got to learn to cheer against Sam Houston State, shit like that. We'll teach you everything. One pick tonight, please, Rico. I already said you don't want to pick for me, bro. I don't watch NFL. So you are about to reinvest into yourself like no one's business when you retire is what you are saying. We saw that revenue you were making on TikTok alone, about to have a studio, mics and camera. Yard sale Dale, a part of the plan is to keep evolving and keep improving. But yeah, that's pretty much how that goes, man. We got a plan for the off season. We're going to be doing high school film reviews. We're going to do an expedited line for $50 a video. Help these kids get exposure in the off season. They can ask their parents for $50, and I'll get them 150,000 eyes. Right? I'll be at 200,000 by December, so hopefully we'll get some people watching. That's the plan for me. By the end of the year, I want 200,000 followers. We'll see what happens. What made you always be attracted to college more than NFL? I just don't like the NFL, the system. They don't play the best players. They play the players they're most financially invested in. Huge difference. Like Gardner Minshew is better than Anthony Richardson. He's willing and dealing. He knows the offense better. He gives you a better chance to win games. They don't care. They have a bigger financial investment in Anthony Richardson, so they're going to start him. Same thing with Bryce Young. He's not the best quarterback. There's a better quarterback out there that should be starting for the Panthers. There's better ones somewhere. They could have got one off the street better, but they have a bigger financial investment in these players. So they're going to play them. There's a guy on the bench right now better than the player you're seeing on Sunday. I can't stand that. Rico, I'll sell my house. It can be your neighbor. I'll take Ash on walks. You'll have to fight Kim. She takes her on walks every single day. Nothing like the Western Kentucky latex sweat. Look at that. Evan Kramer knows what's up. We were out there having a great time. Western Kentucky latex. It was a great game. Why is Vanderbilt so bad every year, man? Explain that. I'll explain it on Thursday when I talk about the SEC. You guys, thanks for being here tonight. It was a short show. I like it that way. Thanks for your questions. Shout out to all your friends. But they don't know. But Rico knows. Peace, y'all.
I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean and no longer a fan. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you. I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean and no longer a fan. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you.
I do this for the kids who sit a bit outside the mix, who maybe cope through humor just to fit in for a bit, who never let the world know when depression's setting in. To all of those who know you, that impression don't exist, and it ain't counterfeit, it's just a way to counter it. I'm living things I dreamed about, I still encounter it. It ain't something that a cigarette or alcohol can fix, but all because of it I flipped it quick, went on to write some hits. This a success, off another breath. This the first step in searching to be nothing less than be the best in what you do, to prove their strength in being you. Learn so much in chasing dreams that I never would in school. Depends on where your passion lie, just no passion never lie. Life presents distractions, but your actions have to fortify the things that you believe in. Have to scream it like a battle cry, and leave the ones who didn't looking stupid while they're asking why. Couldn't lie, I really do this for the ones I love. Those who treat the music as a vice and lyrics like a drug. Those who need advice on how to lift their spirit high enough to break out of the box they make up lives they know aren't good enough. Just because it's how it is don't mean it's how it has to be. This is what the uninspired testifiers fail to see. Jealousy results from being that which others fail to be, and if it means you're not with me, that honestly sounds fair to me.
I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean and no longer a fan. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you.
Do this for my mother, she'll be working for the summer. Do this for my father, cause these days I often wonder what my life would have been like if I was not adopted. To grow up in a home where I was treated like a problem. I don't know, it's just a guess. Your guess probably good as mine. Lucky that I grew up in a home that wanted me to shine. Lucky that I grew up around some mountains we were taught to climb. Without that inspiration, I don't think that this would be my life. Do this for my friends who've scattered all across the country now. I'm out in Sweden walking back through life so I can write it down. Make a living off the sound, so crazy to say out loud. I'm the biggest thing since Travis Rice to come up out the town. Sorry, gotta stunt a little. Used to have my dreams belittled, but it's all a part of it. I know people's minds are fickle, lines between reality and dreams I blur like faded nights. Come up been so good for me, I wish that I could make it twice.
I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean and no longer a fan. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you.
Cancer is a long journey. It's overwhelming, but you just have to put your mind to it and fight.
It doesn't feel good because you can't play outside with other children.